What's up, everybody? Anthony here, SpecialtyMotorcars.net, and behind me you will see what I would almost kind of consider as a really hard to find Lincoln Town car. I was thinking of another word. I was going to use unicorn, but it's not really, I guess, a unicorn, or, you know, unobtainable. I don't know if it's really that, but it's definitely a very, very rare instance that you find one of these. This is a 2007 Lincoln Town car, long wheelbase, signature L, highly optioned with chrome wheels, THX Sound, and only 25,000 original miles. That's what is unobtainable. Anyways, I'm going to get into this video, show you this beautiful Lincoln Town car I have behind me, do a walk around of it, tell you all about it, take it for a spin, and if you're interested, at the end of the video, I'll give you all my information. You can give me a call and you can buy this Lincoln Town car. Let's get into the video. And here she is, an absolutely gorgeous 2007 Lincoln Town car, signature L. This is the long wheelbase town car. Very hard to come by, you know, because this package wasn't, you don't see them obviously as often as you see a regular wheelbase. The long wheelbase adds 6 inches of extra leg room in the rear of the car, and this was done at the factory. Ford offered these starting in the previous body style, but like I've said in many of my videos, I prefer this vintage because when they stretch these cars, I think they did a little bit better of a job kind of hiding the fact that it was a stretched car. You can see that rear quarter window is kind of stretched out longer than your typical 03 to 11 body style town car, where the previous generation, the 98 to 02s, had a real fat B-pillar, and that's kind of like a dead blow giveaway that these are long wheelbase cars. These ones, it's really just in that quarter window. Obviously the door itself is stretched, but they hit it better. There wasn't something like that B-pillar on the older ones that kind of really just hits you. Finding these cars with low mileage, you know, anything under 100 is really low for these cars because there's just not a lot surviving. I've had a few on my channel here, and every time I get another one like this one, I say to myself, when am I ever going to get another one like that? And this being a high trimmed signature L is kind of rare too, because a lot of them were built as executive L's for the livery companies to use as, you know, chauffeur airport cars. A lot of them are black on black, and executives being, you know, the lower trim package, so it didn't come with your heated seats. It didn't come with the wood trimmed wheel or the chrome wheels and stuff like that. But this one's a pretty highly optioned car. I really think for this car, the only thing that's missing is your HID headlights and the trunk storage compartment, the extra trunk cargo compartment there that they had. But otherwise, it's got the factory chrome wheels. Those were on the car, and then it's got the $3,600 THX Sound system, which is pretty spectacular. They were also available with white wall tires, and then this paint, this is color code G4. It seems like I get a lot of colors, a lot of town cars in this color. This is ceramic tri-coat, beautiful color. It's kind of like a grayish pearl white, very, very beautiful color on these town cars. And then I did my typical, did a nice two-tone pinstripe on this car, added some chrome. I don't know where all these bugs are coming from today, but I feel like I'm being attacked as I do this video. But the thing that I love about this color is look at the metallic. The high metallic on this car, on this color, is just absolutely gorgeous. So one last thing that I'll mention before we get into the interior is the interior of this car. It's a very light gray, like almost like a very light dove gray leather. And of all the Lincoln Town cars that I've had, I'll give you a real quick sneak peek. Of all the Lincoln Town cars I've had, I've only had one other Lincoln Town car. Not specifically an L, but one other Lincoln Town car that has had this interior color. So As far as a rarity, I think if you ran a Marty report on this car, you would find that this is a pretty rare spec car. Color, length, I mean, just everything all together. Throw in the THX. You know, this could be very, very few other examples that would ever be out there like this car. How many are left with 25,000 miles? So we're going to go around, we're going to do a quick little walk around and show out some of the minor imperfections on this car, which are very minimal. But even at 25,000 miles, hey, it's not brand new. It is used, so it does have a few little imperfections here and there. You can see all the chrome on this car is in absolutely phenomenal shape. Got the stand-up hood ornament. But more importantly, the chrome grille on this car. Real common for these to start curling up with the chrome to wrinkle. Absolutely beautiful on there. Headlights, nice, crystal clear, factory Ford headlights. Bumper is in great shape. It's got a little bit of a chip touched up there. Then you can see one down here in the lower section. But otherwise, real nice. A few little bug marks. I must have caught this one coming over here. Does have a little bit of an impression right there on the edge of the license plate bracket. Another fresh bug. It's crazy. You'd think, how could I pick up so many bugs on the way over here? But it definitely happens more often than not. Look, crystal clear headlights there. Beautiful paint on the hood. Real clean on the hood there. Come over the fender here. You can see what I did for a stripe. It doesn't pop as much on this side because we're in the shade side. But we did a two-tone, silver on the bottom, and then burgundy. And this is the first time I ever did this design on the end here. So whoever buys this car, that'll be you got the first issue of this kind of little whoop-de-doo down on the end there. Chrome fender flares. Beautiful set of flares. I did chrome rockers on this car. I think really adds to it. When this car came in, it already had these beautiful Travel Star white walls put on the car, but they aren't very old. You can see 10 of 2022. Has new front brakes. This car came in really well kept, really well serviced throughout its life. Even at the mileage at 25,000, usually I see these cars with the original tires still on them. But somebody already had put new white walls on this car. So that tells me the previous owner of this car loved it enough to say, no, I want to have white walls on this car. Beautiful original Carlite windshield. You can see the Lincoln insignia there. And then if you look at these wiper blades and wiper arms, how nice and clean those are. Got a nice gloss on the black, telling me that it was a garage car. And I obviously know this was a garage car. Just looking at the overall condition of it. Roof is in phenomenal shape. All the gaskets and trim and stuff like that. Got that signature L badging indicating your long wheelbase. Come back over here. We'll start back down on this fender. There is a small little mark right here in this fender, and it's you can kind of see it. There's a little bit of a crease. Very, very minor. Honestly, yeah, you kind of see the little impression there. It is so minor that most probably wouldn't point it out, but I did try to have my PDR guy go in there. But unfortunately, just the way the fender is built on these cars, there was really no easy way to get in there. But very, very minor little crease there. Come down the passenger door, nice shape. Lower cladding, real clean. Mirror shows well. Couple little minor little scuff marks there. Side glass is nice. The pillars are nice. I don't know what this... I caught this, whatever this is. I don't know what it is. I don't know if some type of bug pooped on this car, but there was another spot and I wiped it off and I got this brown stuff on my finger. I don't know what the heck that is, or what I caught there. You can see here we do have VIN etching on the windows, which is just a gimmick, I think, that they did when cars were new. Come down the passenger rear door, nice and clean. A few little minor chips. Looks like that were touched up right there on the edge of the door, but nothing too crazy. Down on the bottom, real clean. Again, another beautiful travel star on that 17-inch multi-spoke wheel. I love this wheel design. These wheels are super, super clean. You can see how nice it is in there. This is a really clean Salt Lake City, Utah car. You can kind of see through there and see how nice the frame is on this car. Come down the quarter here, I got a little bug there. It does have a little bit of a scuff right there that was touched up. Nothing too crazy. And then another minor little scuff right here. And right on the tail light there, you can see a little itty bitty mark there, a little chip. Very, very minor. Kind of give you a better idea there. Tail lights are nice and bright. Trunk paint, beautiful. Got that beautiful metallic shining. We have all the town car and Lincoln emblems, no missing letters. Another real significant part with this car, to tell you how well this car was left, is in looking at this trunk surround or this license plate surround, the trunk pocket here. You can see how nice this is. Very minor little stress. Usually these are all curled up and cracked. Look at how clean that is. The emblem, nice and beautiful. Even the paint on here, real clean. That's really usually a spot that you see start to fade and come apart. A couple minor marks. Oh, almost fell backwards here. A couple minor marks. 2 little scratches right there. And then you can see an impression here on the lower part of the rear bumper. And then one right here as well. And a little bit of a wrinkle in that chrome foil. I don't really see any cracking in the paint or anything like that, so must have just bumped into something, or somebody must have just bumped into them, but probably them bumping into something. This car does have the rear parking aid module and sensors all working, but somebody obviously just carelessly bumped into it. Rear glass nice and clean. Come down this quarter panel, bumper shows well, I think right here you can see a little bit of a spot touched up right on that edge right there as well. There's that beautiful stripe, kind of a burgundy on top with like a silver on the bottom, the signature L insignia around the glass. I got this car in, and this car was in such phenomenal. I love getting cars like this because somebody did, you know, so much maintenance throughout its life to take care of it. Little scuff right there. And it shows because the car came in a very little reconditioning, meaning I can bring it to market a lot quicker. Come down the door here. Beautiful metallic. Door handle, the door pin pad is in really nice shape. And there's that VIN etching in the windshield. Nice clean windshield, no chips or anything like that. Fender, clean. Wheel opening. And there's that stripe that I did on this car. This is a real clean car. One mark that I forgot of that I wanted to point out before we jump onto the inside actually was also on this rear bumper, and I know it was down low, so I wanted to point it out. You can kind of see it. Yeah, there it is. A little scratch right there. So someone must have just kind of grazed over maybe a curb or a, I don't know. I don't know what would have done that, but there's no damage, you know, to the subframe or body of the car down low. It's just that scratch, and you can't really see it unless you kind of get down and look for it, but I don't want to forget about that. Anyways, let's dive onto the inside of this beautiful 25,000 mile example, and we'll take it for a spin. Tell you all about it, all the details. Alright, let's dive on into the inside of this 2007 long wheelbase and I'll show you this beautiful dove gray. I think that's what Ford called it, dove gray. If they didn't, that's what it looks like to me. Very light gray, dove gray leather interior. We'll take a look inside the jambs here first. You can see nice and clean throughout. Even the sill plates on this one are in really phenomenal shape. Super, super clean there as well. All the door gaskets and weather stripping, very, very clean. And you can see, let me zoom out here for you. You can see what I mean by this light gray leather. Beautiful, beautiful condition with very minor, you know, just normal leather creases, but nice and soft. One thing you'll see here is kind of like a little blue, almost maybe like dye from like someone's jeans or something. I tried to get it off, but I didn't want to go too rough on it. It's really just in this back area here. Aside from that, real clean, real nice leather. Beautiful leather wrapped steering wheel, wood trim on the top, matching dash. We'll show you some of the details with that in just a minute. But inside on the door panel here, you can see the THX sound system. You have the door pockets, your trunk, your fuel door release, little cubbies there. All the wood trimming here is in nice shape. Your heated seats, memory seats, even the door pull, nice and clean, nice and tight. All the wood trim shows really well. The other thing with the THX, before I forget, you got these little tweeters right up in here that the standard sound system cars did not come with, by the way. So that's another little Lincoln Town Car nugget of information. Like I always point out on these long wheelbase cars, it's just how wide those rear doors open. If you're standing here, I mean, you're almost at 90 degrees. You know, you're a shade off, but these were built to absorb people easily. Easy entry and exit on these cars were really, really important for, you know, the client base that Ford was aiming these cars at. You know, being a signature is kind of a little different, but obviously same bodied car. They weren't really expecting these higher trimmed cars, you know, to be that of livery use. But take a look inside here. You can see nice and clean. Weather stripping, the Lincoln insignia on the sill plate, nice and clean. The one thing with these L's, and I think I've pointed out a few times, is they got this kind of like, this is where Ford kind of like didn't think this through. They got these black plastic kind of sheeted panels that really just, they just stick on. They fit over the gaskets, like under the gaskets, but then they're supposed to tuck in here. And this is essentially where they seamed the body, you know, I don't want to say they cut these and stretch them, because they didn't. I don't want to make it sound like that. But their tooling and dyeing, you know, was probably modified, but you saw seams in here. And Ford put these covers on to cover that instead of finishing it like maybe you would see down here. Now if you go underneath the car, you can actually see in the floor pan where they sectioned in from the original style floor pan. Anyways, enough of a history lesson there. You got these long back door panels, which again, nice big back glass, where the other vintage, like I was referring to, had a real big B-pillar on this door. Kind of looked awkward. It created a little bit of a blind spot. The upper trim long wheelbases came with heated rear seats. No other town car did. They also included cigarette lighters, even though this is a non-smoking car. You can see how nice the wood is and everything, the gold tone on the handles and stuff. One thing I noticed here is you can see a little bit of a spot where maybe, I don't know, the foam behind this door panel is kind of just bubbling a little bit. It's, you know, a soft plush, but I don't know if like the adhesive, it kind of failed a little bit there, but you can see a little bit of a bubble there. Inside the pockets, nice and clean. Carpeting, nice and clean. Seat back pockets, your leather, real clean throughout. Like all the long wheelbase cars, you have the rear adjustable articulating headrests. And then in the center here you can see a center console. This is buttons to control your temperatures, fan speed. You can move the front seat forward and back. Inside here, a little rubber there. 2 auxiliary ports, little tissue dispenser. Fold that up. You have your little cup holder in the center there. One thing with this back seat, you can see this little cut, and this isn't through the leather. This is like, again, a scratch kind of in the surface of the leather. Aside from that, this back seat is absolutely perfect. Real clean. Headliner is beautiful. You have the vanity mirrors for your back seat passengers as well. Just a really inviting rear seat compartment with these L's, and that's why so many people like them. One thing I wanted to point out that I forgot to in the other outside videos, you can see this little scratch on this quarter panel here, kind of in the clear coat. That looks like maybe tried to be polished or touched up. I forgot to mention that one. Open this door up just as wide as the other side, which is good for your entry, but not good for door dings. That's why you got to really be careful with the edges of these long wheelbase doors, because you swing these things open as far, you know, I think they go further than your typical town car, so you kind of almost unexpected to go that extra distance before it stops. Obviously, this standard parking spot, you're going to ding someone's door up. So it's not uncommon to see these door edges all bashed to shit, really. But anyways, nice and clean inside here. Your Lincoln sill plate, insignia all clean throughout. And again, that black plastic kind of trimming. I have taken those off before, and that's what's there. It's kind of a little bit of a body filler seam seal. Your Lincoln insignia there. Carpeting shows really, really nice. Again, back seat, beautiful. This is a really, really comfortable. I mean, if you're looking for a road car, you know, 25,000 miles, this thing is still a baby. This would be a phenomenal road car for a businessman or somebody traveling, you know, to and from Florida. Get in the back of one of these. I don't want to put my feet on the carpet, but I mean, it's nice. Get these vanity mirrors here. Now these things, I don't really like these vanity mirrors. It's kind of a real poor design. You can actually see this one, I don't even want to really play with it. It looks like the shell has been glued back together. These things are kind of fragile, and I usually tell people if you have them, don't even touch them, because the plastic just, I don't know what it is with them. They break apart. I have some new old stock ones, but they're unfortunately tan and not gray. Or black. Black is the most color on the color, but I don't have that either. Down here you can see a little bit of a separation again, kind of like that other side on that door panel, which is kind of odd because I've never really seen that before. Nice and clean. The door pulls, again, all the anodizing. Just a real nice car. You can see ice cold air conditioning. She's sweating a little bit there, but it's humid as can be out, so I am blessed to have it. Take a look inside those jams. Again, nice, clean. You can see the carpeting just, you know, shows really, really well in this car. Passenger seat really looks like nobody sat in this seat. I mean, it's just nice all the way throughout. No, you know, real wear. Nice, soft. You know, this is what you want. Your car. This is what you want to sit in. People wonder why these cars are so loved today, all these years later. I mean, look at the padding in this. This is like sitting on a pillow top mattress to drive, really. You don't get that anymore. All your new Lincolns, you know, your MK whatevers and MKXs or those name alphanumerical bullshit, doesn't have this. And that's why people ask me, like, oh, who buys your town car? Like, who wants one of those old man cars? Well, I politely say I disagree, because I sell a lot of these cars to your young to middle age. My last town car I sold to somebody who's actually technically younger than me. My last town car my driver went to a nice young gentleman in Long Island who's tried to buy a couple town cars from me and just missed, and he got the last one. So I get all age brackets to buy these cars because they wear like iron. They're comfortable. It's like an old pair of slippers. You just know that you're going to be pleased with the ride, with the quality. You can see beautiful carpet here throughout. Door cards. Got the little hideaway. Just real clean all the way throughout this car. Heated seats. When you look at the wood bezeling, real nice on these cars. Indication that this car was garage, because usually they get a little rougher than that. The THX Sound system. Then the center console, you can see a little bit maybe of a chip or something right there. And then two spots where you can see little spots where maybe the thread is coming a little loose. Dual flip open, so it opens on both sides. Flips up, and then you have a cup holder right there as well. One thing that I noticed when I was cleaning this is you're gonna hear, let me zoom in a little bit there. You're gonna hear something loose in there. I don't know if a coin fell in there somehow. Nothing's broken or anything, but there's something that fell maybe in between something somehow. Actually, you know what? It probably was a coin in these little slots. It probably fell in there and now is stuck in there. But yeah, there's definitely something in there that when you flip it open and close, you can kind of hear. Not a crazy big deal, but thought I'd mention it anyways. All right, let's get behind the wheel. We'll show you the cluster. We'll show you what we got for keys and books. And then we will pop the hood, pop the trunk. Yeah, let's do that. All right, let's jump in here. Oh, nice and cool. Just absolutely beautiful. 25,845 miles. Let's shut it off real quick and we'll pull the books out of the glove box. All right, and here you go. This is what I have for keys. I did only have just one set of the original keys and a valet key, so I went ahead and had a second key and remote made for this car. You can see this is the new remote, and then this is the new key. Now this is a Ford or a Lincoln key, a factory key. I go to the same place to have my keys made all the time. You have your Lincoln, navigation, and audio. Yep, THX Sound. And they said, I actually asked them, I said, do you guys have any Lincoln keys? And they said, oh, well, let's check out stock. Usually we don't. We have like aftermarket or Ford keys. And they actually have a whole bag of these Lincoln keys. So now every time I go in, I get Lincoln keys for my Lincolns. And I asked him last time when I went for this car, I said, how many of these Lincoln keys do you sell? He says, you're the only one that buys them. So I'm happy to say that for the next probably many years, I have plenty of Lincoln keys. See here, you got all the original books in the leather-bound case. I'll pop that in there. Lincoln navigation. Let's see here. Got the THX Sound. We're gonna go to map. Agree, and then there you are. Now this is obviously disc-based, so this is kind of more of an antiquated system, but it does have a 6-disc CD changer in there, and it does have Lincoln's voice command, which again was kind of the start of that. This isn't like 2023 era, but again, most of my customers, they don't even use this. They don't use nav. The nice thing is the THX sound system for the quality of the sound. You get the tweeters. And stuff like that, but most of my customers aren't, looking for the latest and greatest technology because they want to keep things somewhat simple, we'll say. So let's jump under the hood real quick, show you how clean it is under here. It's absolutely magnificent under this hood. Fit, finish, quality, cleanliness. This car has everything going on under the hood as far as what you're looking for. Just real clean. Now all the fluids are all fresh. Even the coolant, somebody went through this car and took really good care of it. It's got new upper and lower radiator hoses, fresh coolant, ice cold, ice cube juice. I mean, look at this. She's nice and cold. It's got new front struts. If you look down there, you can see the new front struts. Brakes, tires, like somebody's taking care of this car because they love the car, obviously. You just look how clean that is. You zoom in, you can see all the anodizing and everything. You get the quality control marks. You know, it's just really, really, really clean. Look at that. Ooh, that's hot. Woo, baby. This is a really, really nice car for someone who's looking for a really, really nice car. I don't know why I zoomed out there, but there we are. Close that down and we'll jump to the trunk. But let me grab the key because you know what I like to show you with these. Alright, where the trunk was already open, you take the key fob here and a double click. You get a full close. It then has the power pull down. Twice again. On the remote, it's 2 times to open and or close. On the door itself, it's just once, or on the keypad if you type in the factory code, which let me remind you that in just a minute when I jump inside. Got something to mention about that. But nice clean carpeting throughout the trunk here. All inside the trunk jamb is nice and clean. Inside the trunk itself, you have the 2 front original floor mats, the Lincoln insignia, your spare tire, quarter mounted, the long wheelbase rear trunk mat, and then a set of wiper blades. This is kind of funny how Ford, in earlier years, they had, I thought this was like a blockout plate. Well, nope, that's where the DVD goes, I forgot, for the THX Sound. I thought this was going to be, you know, a blockout plate for the original CD changers, but now that I remember, yeah, the THX cars, the DVD for the maps, and that's why I say antiquated, because older technology, it's map based, not satellite, goes in the trunk on these cars. And you just look inside there, how nice and clean that is. You know, you just don't see that often. Alright, close that down. And yes, you can close these trunks manually. It won't hurt the trunk, but you cannot slam the trunks because these do have a soft close pull down feature. Alright, let's dive on in and take it for a spin. Alright, shut the radio off and we're going to put this on low, but on recirculate. I love taking my pictures on Sundays because, as you can see, I have empty parking lots to kind of do whatever I want, where I want, when I want. Let's see if we can zoom. Oh yeah, look at that town car. Oh, nice. Nice. I love doing reflection checks. Actually, I think if I come up this way, where's this guy going? This guy's gonna think I'm a weirdo. That's alright. Ooh, baby, 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 baby. Just a guy in a Lincoln doing a reflection check. Oh, yeah. Alright. I don't know what I was just about to say. Oh, yeah, I was saying how I love doing videos on Sundays because I have empty parking lots and nobody to bother me. But I've been meaning to take pictures of this car since Monday. But we've had gray, cloudy skies and rain off and on. I mean, actually flooding, crazy torrential rains all this week. So I had to wait till today. So we're a little behind on this one. That's all right. Reflection check there as well. This car is just an absolute joy to drive. You know, these long wheelbase town cars, I will say, you know, like any car, the longer the wheelbase, the better the ride. And that's 6 inches of extra leg room in the back, although it's only beneficial to the rear seat passengers. It does give, where am I not focusing? There we go. It does give the car, you know, the whole car, an excellent ride. Slightly better ride, I will argue, than your standard town car, just because you got that slightly larger wheelbase. What are we doing here? 65. She's cruising. Nicely drives down the road. Zoom out, nice and straight here. Any questions about this Lincoln Town Car, you can give me a call. My name is Anthony, Specialty Motor Cars here in Pelham, New Hampshire. You can check out all the still pictures on my website, specialtymotorcars.net. I'll have tons of pictures over there on this car. Check me out on Instagram, Specialty Motor Cars NH, and on Facebook, because I always do sneak peeks of stuff, and I always tell my followers that when you start to see, you know, pictures on those social media platforms of, hey, I'm getting this car cleaned, or, you know, it's coming out of service, that's when you know something is coming available. So people ask me a lot too, is, you know, how do people know what's coming up? On my website, I have a list of upcoming cars, with the top 3 or 4 being like the next upcoming. So I do got that, but that's the best way, is to follow me on social media. Anyways, 978-930-1004. Any questions, give me a call. Shoot me a message if you want. You know, like I say always, don't let distance stop you from getting a dream car like this in your driveway. This baby came all the way from Salt Lake City, Utah to come here, and she's willing to go anywhere. So give me a call, 978-930-1004, and let me know where I can send this car next. Thanks everybody for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments about this long wheelbase town car. I'll give you kind of a little heads up of what I have coming up next. Like I said, I do put it on my website, but I'll throw it out here just because I have a 91 Brougham, the Elegance, coming up. A real nice driver quality car. It's going to be priced real aggressive to sell. It's a 5.7 liter car with just under 80,000 miles. That car is coming up available. I am working on a pair of white the Elegance Broughams that I'm getting close to the finish line on as well. But I also have some other cool stuff coming up, some Park Avs, some Grand Marquis. We're just getting through whatever we can get through here at the shop, Papa Bear and I. So stay tuned for all that. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks everybody. We'll talk to you on the next one.